It's Ram season, which means it's time to serve with Ram 1500, Ram 3500, and Ram TRX. Hurry in now for great deals on the trucks that are built to serve. Right now during Ram season, get 10% below MSRP on the purchase of a 2023 Ram 1500 Laramie. Not compatible with lease offers or with any other consumer incentive offers. Contact dealer for details. Take retail delivery by 5/31/23.
And
what was your next step?
Well, I tried to, contact CNN and present them with the information that I had found out about it, and I asked them to do a retraction, and, they just basically, if they didn't do it with if they made a mistake and it was not something that was done to intentionally harm me, and they knew that I'm now explaining to them that it had harmed me, why couldn't they just do a retraction?
So you want them to make this, to kind of straighten this out a little bit?
Well, I had asked them, I had given them the benefit of the doubt even, that they had made a mistake, and they just didn't even want to talk to me.
Now, you got through to them early on, though, and you spoke...
Yeah, I got through to them, and they basically just said that, we didn't do anything wrong. And,
they brushed you off.
Right, and I continued to try and do that.
How did you continue to try?
I wrote letters. I sent them the letters from the dentist. The dentist sent me a letter explaining that they thought the product was good and was useful, and that they were not given the instructions, they were not given a package, and therefore they made a premature evaluation of the product.
And then they just started ignoring all your letters?
For 2 years.
For 2 years they ignored letters, ignored phone calls?
Packages, I sent them the video, I sent them, ad nauseum, the evidence that something had been done that was wrong.
At what point did you start losing your cool?
Well, in 98, I had been told by Ted Turner's personal secretary that that finally this was going to, pay off in the event that, Ted Turner was going to personally look at this situation and try to resolve it, and then I should send a package of information and he would go over it. And I was quite happy to hear that. I figured 2 years of, diligently trying to work this thing out had finally paid off.
You're kind of eased at that point, thinking, okay, finally something's going to happen.
Right. I sent them a package of information, and I gave them about 3 weeks to review it. I realized, he's busy, he's got a lot of other things to do. I called them up, and they say that they never received it, send another package. So I sent another package, Federal Express, and I called to follow up, and they said that now they never received it, and they basically sent me to the security, Thomas McCormick, and he basically began to tell me that they have the right to ignore me, they have the right not to listen to me, and they basically don't care, about the situation.
Now, is this after the fax machine episode? This was before. Okay, so
and that was actually what set it off, is he had asked me to explain to him why I was calling, and I said, I was told to send this information, and I provided it, and now you're telling me that you don't care whether, you've received it or not, and, after 2 years of trying to, work with these people in a manner in which we could resolve it, I said, well, if you didn't get the information, I'll make sure that you get it. And I loaded up my fax machine with the letters from the dentist, and I faxed them for the next 2 or 3 days about 6,000 times.
Way above and beyond.
It takes it to a different level. So, but you were at this point pushed to an extreme, is what you're saying.
Sure. I had tried, for 2 years to work this thing out with them, and there's just, they kept building up hope and then shooting it down. And that seems to me more cruel than just to not respond at all.
And then what about the black fax?
That came sometime later after I was tired of sending them the evidence. Then I just sent a couple of black pages, which seemed to work just as well.
What does that do when you fax a black page?
It drains the ink from the machine.
And you had looped it or something so that it was just constantly faxing black pages to their fax machines, draining their
cartridges.
Their cartridge. At this point, it was just to get some kind of
You're
attention.
You're antagonizing them now.
Were you trying to antagonize them?
Giving them a little bit of their own medicine.
Let's jump beyond the black faxes, the black loop fax. What happens after that? You're at a whole new level.
Yeah, what happened to put you in jail?
I protested in October of '99.
You protested?
Right, outside their building.
Oh, okay.
And I was thrown down a flight of stairs. I was arrested, and
did you picket? What did you do?
Yeah, I had a sign.
What did it say?
CNN and Johnson & Johnson conspire against Dix, which is basically the underlying theme of what happened here.
Okay.
I mean,
and
again,
at this
that
point,
has to be proven, but you have to hear this whole story from beginning to end to understand it. But I was arrested there, and I was 24 hours. I was released, and then we went to court. And I figured this is it. And this was civil disobedience. This worked, and we'll get an opportunity to explain it. They postponed it. We went back another month. They postponed it. We went back another month, and they postponed it and threw it out of court.
Now, let me just read from Stephanie Ramage's article in the Creative Loafing. In March 2000, he began faxing pages of pernicious, disgusting, completely fabricated allegations about Ted Turner.
Sure.
What were the natures?
That was again to try and get them into either a civil suit, maybe. They had the opportunity, and my lawyer went over this. They had the opportunity to file a civil suit or to file a civil injunction to stop this whole situation, and they never did it.
Okay, so
the reason that they didn't do it is because they didn't want this thing to get any exposure.
And then let's jump to April 18th.
Right.
And
what happened then?
What happened that day?
Well, then I sent this letter, which you've never heard the whole entire letter, but it's quite a long letter, and it basically explains the whole situation from beginning to end. And at the very end of it, it says that after you read the threatening portion, it says, if you press charges, I will have my day in court.
Well, wait a minute. We can't. Okay, I do have to read, and you'll correct me if this is incorrect, but we do have to read at least the paragraphing, that is...
Do you want me to read the whole letter?
Well, no.
Okay.
Because we know the setup. I have come to the end of my attempts to deal with you in a rational manner.
Right.
It is with full knowledge of the law that I'm telling you that if you do not make restitution, I will...
If you do not attempt to make restitution, I will attempt to kill Ted Turner.
2,500 feet! Time to pull our chutes!
25? Did you hear you could save up to 25% off grocery store prices at BJ's Wholesale Club?
Did you say save up to 25% at BJ's?
Yeah, save up to 25% at BJ's.
Whoa, that's like saving up to 1/4 of... Ugh, that's gonna leave a mark.
BJ's. Absurdly simple savings. Shop today. Not a member? Go to bjs.com/simple savings.